Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about some more hype beast fragrances. But this time, fragrances that got a lot of hype that I personally think didn't deserve it. Now, that's not anybody's fault. Hype happens for a lot of different reasons. You know, the stars align and everybody just says, I gotta get it. And everybody starts talking about it. And sometimes I don't actually know why that happens. It's like, man, this is not good. What are you doing? What are you talking about? So that's what we're doing here today. 5 fragrances that I think didn't deserve the hype. Don't believe the hype. Ah. All right, first off, we're gonna go with an Armaf. First off with the Armaf. And it's this one right here. Helm Purom. Now, not to be that guy, but look at this bottle. If this is not the epitome of ultra cheap, I don't know what is. It's the most horrifically ugly thing that I've ever laid my eyes on. So in case you're unaware of what Helm is supposed to be, and with this super annoying tag, it's supposed to be a clone of Bleu de Chanel, the eau de toilette. And at the time this came out, there weren't all that many alternatives to Bleu de Chanel, and people are always looking for alternatives to expensive fragrances that sell really well. Because people think to themselves, that sells really well, people like it, I like the way it smells, I don't really want to spend that much money though. So then you have Johnny Armaf who comes along and he's like, hey, what's up? My name's Johnny Armaf. I hear that you like Bleu de Chanel, but you don't like spending money. Can I interest you in my wares? And sometimes Johnny Armaf is legit. Sometimes Johnny Armaf has got the good stuff, but this time he didn't. This time Johnny Armaf took you for a ride. He sold you some snake oil. Can't trust that guy. He's shifty. So as I mentioned, the bottle is super ugly. It has this weird snake skin type pattern on the front. The cap is magnetic, but only kind of. It's magnetic, I guess, but we'll just say it doesn't have a very strong magnet. It doesn't stay on very well. The tag actually corrodes over time, so you get this cool rust effect all over this thing. I don't know why I've not thrown it away actually, but none of that would matter if the fragrance was good. But the fragrance actually is terrible. Yeah, it's not good at all. Let's give it a spray. Yeah, it's just really chemically synthetic. It's rough smelling. It's got grapefruit, lemon, ginger, and vetiver as some of the notes in the fragrance. And it's just, it is what it is, I guess. It's a poorly done Bleu de Chanel imitator. Armaf Helm, not one of the most hyped Armaf fragrances for a good reason, because the fragrance is just not great. Don't worry though, if you want an inexpensive alternative to Bleu de Chanel, there are better alternatives out there. You can get Missoni Parfum Purom. That one's really good, and actually the presentation on that one has a proper magnetic cap. Or you could get Perry Ellis for men. That one is actually surprisingly good too. It's the one that has the little circle in the bottle where you can actually see through the glass with the circle, and it has kind of a greenish tinge to it. So those two, I would go for Helm. Nope. Now guys, before you go any further, I need to tell you some hypebeasts that do deserve the hype, and that's the Beast Mode Gents. So again, a shout out to these lovely gentlemen for supporting the channel. If you'd like to support the channel, click the join button below or check out the link in the description, and check out the different perks that the different membership tiers have. Thank you, Beast Mode Gents. You guys are the best. Back to the video. This next one got a whole bunch of hype, which makes sense because the house gets hyped with pretty much every release they do. Yeah, you know, to some extent, whether it's massive hype or just moderate hype, they all get hyped. It's from Parfums de Marly, and the fragrance is Cologne. Now, I'm not trying to offend you guys here if you're a big fan of this fragrance, but it's my least favorite from the house, and it's not really all that close. I just don't think it smells very good. I sprayed some right here, and let's see. No, man, that ain't it. Spices, blood orange, pepper, woods, and moss. Some of the notes in this fragrance. It's kind of like tickling my lungs in a bad way. What's funny is when this came out, because I had a red bottle, people were like, oh, I know what this is. This, big brain, is gonna be Parfums de Marly's take on Baccarat Rouge 540. It's not. It's it's not close. This has much more in common with Tom Ford Noir Anthracite than it does Baccarat Rouge 540. Only I think Anthracite's better than Cologne. Cologne to me is a mix of things that maybe done a different way would smell nice, but here they just mix together and come across really unappealing. It's dusty, it's woodsy, it's earthy, it's a bit spicy, it's dry, and yet none of those things work together in Cologne. With Parfums de Marly, a lot of the time, especially with those cool weather fragrances, you're looking for something that's gonna have big time mass appeal, great performance, big compliment factor to them, warm, sexy, you know, those kind of fragrances. And Cologne is anything but that. Well, it does have the performance part, so I mean, it does that. Next up, Icon Racing from Dunhill. If you were around when this first came out, you'll know that there was a rush to buy this fragrance as fast as flippin' possible. People were going crazy. And this is not at all a shot toward him, but it's because Jeremy Fragrance did a video that featured Icon Racing. He had a lady on there who was doing a smell and rate, and she really liked this one. And that was before it was readily available in the US, because it had kind of just come out. And where she really loved Icon Racing, people lost their minds. They were just like, oh my God, where is it? Where can I buy it? Tell me, who has Icon Racing? I need it now. Did you see it got a 10 out of 10? Like, that's all it takes. 10 out of 10, you're in. Grapefruit, cardamom, orange blossom, lavender, some of the notes in the scent. The issue with Icon Racing is that it's basically Dunhill's take on this little fragrance that maybe you've heard of, maybe you've seen. Comes in a super classy bottle, the likes of which the world has never experienced before, just took the world by storm. Invictus. Baccarat Invictus, yeah, that one. So Icon Racing smelled like Dunhill's take on Invictus, which of course, bit of a letdown when everybody on Earth all at the same time is trying to rush and find a bottle. So this one is a little bit of a different hype train, hype beast fragrance in the sense that the hype was here, it was non-existent, and then it was boom, through the roof, to the moon, past Mars, headed toward Jupiter. Like, the amount of hype was out of control. And then as people got it in, the hype just crashed, plummeted back into the center of the earth. So this wasn't like a long drawn out hype train, but that hype train hit hard and fast and then crashed in spectacular fashion. Now, to be fair to Icon Racing, the price you can pick that up for at discounters now makes it a solid buy. When it came out and it was more expensive, not so much. But nowadays, it's pretty affordable. It's a really versatile scent. People like it. You know, it's a potential compliment puller, daytime, nighttime, almost any season type of fragrance. So nowadays, totally fine for the price. But when that hype was hitting fever pitch, ooh, it wasn't worth it then, no sir. Now this next fragrance I want to feature, turns out I gave it away and forgot that I had even given it away. So that's how much I loved it. I gave it away on this channel to one of you guys and forgot that I had even done it because I just didn't even care that I had the fragrance to begin with. So good job me, but I'm still gonna feature it here anyway. Vanilla Vibes by Juliet Has a Gun. Salt, vanilla, tonka, and orchid, some of the notes in that fragrance. It was for me just way too feminine. There was no way I could pull it off. It was a bit powdery, salty, had kind of a sunscreen, suntan lotion vibe to it. You know, this kind of chemically sunscreen undertone, and I didn't like it. So at the time I thought, you know, I'll give it to my wife. Maybe she'll wear it, she'll like it. No. So then I just gave it away. So, hey. So with Vanilla Vibes, when that came out, it was basically just everywhere. It was everywhere. It was on Facebook, it was on YouTube, it was, you know, just everywhere. And it seemed like most people really loved it. And so that's why I was just kind of out there in left field, like, I don't get it. Now, some people really do enjoy it, and that's fine. That's awesome. More power to you. But for me, it didn't work. I would spray it on and just go, no, I'm not wearing that. So Vanilla Vibes, for me, that is one of the hype beasts, hype trains that happened that I missed the train. You know, I was standing at the station and the train just barreled through and I was like, what is that? What? Vanilla Vibes? Okay, I'm glad I missed that one. Last but not least, Mont Blanc Individuel. Raspberry, vanilla, lavender, cinnamon, some of the notes in the scent. There's a bunch of notes in this one. This one also, like Icon Racing, I think for the price, completely fine. So it's not a fragrance that I hate a bit. It's just an interesting one for me. And that's because Individuel was out for a while. It was affordable for a long while. Everybody knew, hey, this is kind of an alternative to original Santal from Creed, of course. And it has some similarities with Yop Homme. Some people knew about it, but for the most part, nobody really put it out there too much. So lots of people knew about the fragrance, and it did get its fair share of love here and there, but then it hit just, again, kind of a fever pitch where everybody was buying it and talking about it. So kind of like Icon Racing, this one does go back to Jeremy Fragrance featuring it and people just saying, yes, gotta get it. And I don't mean this at all as a slight toward Jeremy. 0% at all. That's not what I'm intending to do here. It's just for me, and I've said this before on the channel, I'm not really a big fan of original Santal. I'm not really a big fan of Yop Homme. And so with Individuel, I just never really was into it personally. So this is once again one of those personal taste things where I just don't love it. I don't hate it at all, but I don't love it to the extent that other people were loving it, because they were loving it, man. They were, woo, I wore this, I got 52,000 compliments. It was stuff like that all over the internet. And so for me, I just kind of, once again, was like, yeah, it's pretty good. For the price, it's not bad. Pretty good. There's a little bit of that difference between pretty good and holy crap, it's the best thing ever made. So Individuel, that's one where the hype for a while there, man, it was full force forward. And then eventually, like all hype trains, kind of slowed down a bit. And while the hype was in its throes, you know, really going, I just kind of didn't get it. Now, all that said, I mean, there are fragrances that I've said that I love, that I know for a fact some of you out there don't love, whether it's Light Blue Forever or Issey Miyake Pulse of the Night or Armani Code Absolute. You know, there are a lot of fragrances that I've said I really enjoy that I know some of you really don't. So that's just to say, if you love one of these and you love wearing it, you're not wrong for loving it, obviously. We all have different tastes and opinions. So there we go, guys. Some hype beasts that for me didn't deserve the hype, or maybe didn't deserve it at the time. And some of them definitely still don't. Let me know in the comments, what are some hype beasts that you yourself don't really dig, or maybe you just can't wrap your head around it, doesn't work for you. Thanks for hanging with me today. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.